Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. My name is Gordy, and I was just wondering, you ever notice how two identical movies sometimes drop within months of each other? Have ya? Give me 5 minutes. I bet you can work this into a conversation today. Also, like and subscribe so you can keep up. I do this every single day, every few years. Hollywood gets déjà vu. What? Two nearly identical films appear within months of each other, and I don't mean sequels or remakes. I mean separate projects that somehow share the same plot, tone, and even dialogue beats, and maybe titles even. And these are called twin films. It's an odd but recurring pattern in cinema. So let's hit up some examples. We'll go through some. So in 1998, Earth nearly got obliterated twice. You know, you had Deep Impact and Armageddon arrive within months of each other, both about terminal space rocks endangering humanity. One was a little bit more earnest, more grounded, and the other one went full blockbuster spectacle. That same year, 1998 also brought Antz with a Z, because it's like, that's millennial, like trendy, like in the future we're all gonna indicate plurals with the Z instead of an S, because Z's are futuristic. But Antz versus A Bug's Life, those were dueling computer animated insect societies. The fact that those came out in the same year is pretty nuts. And in 1997, let's take it back a year, we had Volcano and Dante's Peak. These are both about urban volcano catastrophes. In 2006, we saw The Illusionist and The Prestige. Honestly, in my head, I've seen them both, but I can't really extricate one from the other. And they're both just period magician pieces, all about secrets about their rivals. And more recently, we have Olympus Has Fallen versus White House Down, same year. Capote versus Infamous, pretty much the same thing. Into Mars versus Red Planet. Again, who knows the difference at this point? I remember on my first dates with my wife, we watched either, I don't actually know right now, we watched one of these, Friends with Benefits or No Strings Attached. I don't know which one we watched. Because I honestly, before I started researching this episode, I didn't know there were two. I just figured they were the same thing. And my whole life, I've just been like, yeah, No Strings Attached, Friends with Benefits. I thought the last thing was in parentheses after the title. But this phenomenon goes back further. In 1931, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was adapted by two rival studios within that same year. And the same thing happened with Robin Hood, to make that sound weird, in the 1940s, and with Christopher Columbus biopics in the early 1990s. And also let me know in the comments, do you say biopics or biopics? I'm not going to tell you what I say. And these aren't usually cases of plain stealing. The industry calls it parallel development. So multiple studios pursuing similar ideas simultaneously. So scripts float through the same agencies, industry gossip circulates, and trends ripple through boardrooms. And a writer might pitch variations of a concept, or someone shifts studios. And they bring that seed idea along with them. Oh, and sometimes a studio hears a rumor that a rival is working on, you're working on a movie about computer animated bugs? All right. Let's greenlight our own one of these. Let's do it about ants, though, right? We'll do it about ants. And they're like, actually, boss, theirs is called Antz. But there's also psychology at play. Executives want to show that they're in touch with the zeitgeist. If another studio bets on volcanoes or asteroids or ants, it feels riskier not to do that. So both dive in, leading to what economists call herd behavior. It's basically groupthink. And Hollywood is small. I worked at a production company at Sony Studios for a little bit, and this really did become apparent. My job was to read scripts and then tell the producer whether this script was good, how much it would cost, what was the general synopsis of it all. But what I realized was that there's a handful of agents, producers, executives, writers, and they overlap constantly. They all know each other. They're all very competitive with each other. And so these so-called coincidences feel less accidental when you realize that everyone's trading the same gossip over sushi on Sunset Boulevard or reading the same industry newspapers every single day. That was a big one. Like, oh, you gotta see what Variety says today. Answer in the news. And what's interesting is that usually one twin film wins. It's not like they cannibalize each other necessarily that much. I mean, they could be to a certain degree, but there's usually one standout victor. Armageddon absolutely destroyed Deep Impact at the box office. Bug's Life squashed Antz culturally and I think critically. I liked Bug's Life a lot more. The Prestige eclipsed The Illusionist, but occasionally the loser gets critical love. Like Deep Impact was praised for being like a better movie. Like it was more realistic. The tone was better. And Armageddon was just kind of like more of a flashy spectacle. But still, that doesn't mean that it don't sell. You know, you gotta know what you're judging things on. Today, the trend hasn't vanished. Streaming has just kind of blurred that line. Now it's easier because you have multiple streaming services. It's not as like A/B testing. Competing services now release lookalike true crime docs. I remember I watched like 2 Fire Festival documentaries, one on Hulu, one on Netflix, within a day of each other. I'm not sure. So, you know, they're pumping out these things all the time within weeks of each other. And so the twin film instinct has never left. It's just more algorithmic these days. So there you have it. Twin films. Proof that in Hollywood, great minds don't always think alike. Sometimes they just panic at the same time. We can't be behind on this. Go check out my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Give me a like. Share this with someone. Follow me if you don't. And go check out my short version I do of all these, the condensed version, the 45-second clip you can find at Smartest Year Ever, everywhere on social media. Go check out the short version. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. I will see you tomorrow in the Smartest Year Ever.